So you want to know about TCP and UDP? Well, let's get into it. When data travels across the internet, like when you stream music, play a game, or send an email, it has to be packaged and delivered. Think of it like mailing stuff. Sometimes you need guaranteed delivery, tracking, and confirmation, like shipping a passport. Other times, you just need it to get there fast, like sending a flyer or a postcard. That's the difference between TCP and UDP. But what is TCP? TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. And this thing is pretty meticulous. It's like sending your data through certified mail. Every piece gets tracked, numbered, confirmed, and reassembled in order on the other end. TCP does three major things that make it reliable. First, connection establishment. TCP sets up a connection before sending anything, called a three-way handshake. You got send, I'd like to talk to you. Send act, I hear you, let's talk. And act, acknowledgement. Cool, let's keep it rolling. Good analogy to think about. Think of it like calling someone before you start a conversation. So you pick up the phone, hello? You're making sure that the other person on the other side actually hears you before you continue on with whatever information you need to share. That's kind of what the TCP handshake is like. Number two, reliable delivery. If a packet gets lost, TCP will detect it and resend it. Each packet has a sequence number, like page numbers in a book, so that the receiver can rebuild everything in the correct order. 3. Flow control. TCP checks if the receiver can handle the piece. If not, it throttles it down. A good analogy you can use is like pacing your speech, so your listener doesn't get too overwhelmed and lose track of the message you're really trying to deliver. Good examples of apps that use TCP: any web browser using HTTP or HTTPS, email using SMTP, IMAP or POP3, and file transfers using FTP. Basically anything where accuracy matters more than speed. So we got TCP, but what in the world is UDP? UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol, and it's the exact opposite of TCP. UDP says, man, ain't nobody got time for that handshake. It's like throwing postcards in the mail. No tracking, no confirmation, no resending if one of the packages get lost. It doesn't care about none of that. It's fast, lightweight, and simple, but unreliable. If a few packets gets dropped along the way, oh well, the show just goes on. UDP skips connection setup, so data just starts flowing immediately. That's why it's great for real-time applications where speed is king. Examples of apps using UDP: online gaming, because we all know lag is a lot worse than just a few packets getting lost. Video calls or live streams, you'd rather drop a frame rather than have your whole call freeze altogether. DNS lookups, quick question, quick answer. Don't really care about whether it gets lost in there. We just want to get our answer and move on with whatever we're doing. A good analogy you can use: imagine a friend tossing you a handful of index cards with words on them. If you miss one, you don't stop the conversation. You just keep up with the flow to keep it going. Here's a good head-to-head chart that you can look at and see the difference between TCP and UDP. As you notice, TCP has a built-in reliability aspect because it uses the handshake. UDP doesn't do anything like that, so it doesn't have any inherent reliability. TCP has pretty much a set speed. It doesn't really speed up. It will throttle down to make sure you got everything, but it doesn't necessarily speed up. UDP is usually a lot faster because it doesn't care whether you lose a package or lose anything. It's just gonna keep on trucking along like nothing ever happened. Of course, when it comes to ordering everything, TCP is a little bit slower because it wants to make sure everything is in order. Again, UDP doesn't care about none of that. UDP don't care at all. Good quick analogy for you just to help it stick a little bit more. TCP is like certified mail, tracked, signed, guaranteed, delivered. UDP, it's like you're throwing a bunch of postcards with words on them. You don't know what you're grabbing. The first couple postcards make sense, but once you get out of order, nothing makes sense. But we just gonna keep it going. It's quick, cheap, and there's no promise of transmission. Imagine you're sending a playlist of songs to your friend. With TCP, you send one song at a time and confirm after each song that it arrived perfectly. And if one didn't, you resend it. The playlist is full and complete, but it took a while. Now let's do the same scenario, but using UDP. You blast all the songs out instantly. A few of the songs got lost. You don't have the full album, but the beat never stopped. That's perfect for a live concert type of vibe. But you don't have everything. Each one has its own specific use case that makes them both important in everyday networking. To bring it all together, when you think about TCP versus UDP, just remember, TCP cares about accuracy. UDP cares about speed. Both are essential transport layer protocols. It just depends on whether you want it to be perfect or you want it now. If you learned something new today, drop a like. If you would like to continue learning more videos and breakdowns like this, subscribe to the channel. Like always, I'm MZ. Thank you for joining me in my world today. Till next time.